That's a fly ball, and that is home run number 12. Way over the fence in left field.
We are counting down the days to first pitch for Salukis softball.
Salukis advance to their third straight Missouri Valley Conference Championship game.
Here's the voice of Salukis softball, Mike Trude.
Hi again, Saluki Nation. I am Mike Trude, bringing you Salukis softball player interviews before the season begins in the beginning of February. Team heads down south to play 20 games in the 4 different weekends, and will also go to Mexico to play. They play 20 games in February before returning to the friendly confines of Charlotte West Stadium in the first weekend in March. Our interview today is with sophomore outfielder, infielder, designated hitter, Hayden Kurtz from Peculiar, Missouri. Hayden, welcome to the interview, and give Saluki Nation an idea about what your freshman year was like at Southern, the transition from your program in Missouri and travel ball to the Division I level.
I feel like my transition was a lot about just adjusting. As someone coming from a program that played a lot and played every single day, my role went into more competing every single day, competing with Addie, who was our starting first baseman last year, and just competing to make everybody else better on the team. And I feel like that's what my role kind of was last year. But yeah.
14 games, started 4, 3 hits, 2 runs batted in. First hit against Texas State on that trip down there in that lovely weather. That was Texas State. It was miserable weather down there, cold and wet. But obviously everybody wants to play more. You accepted your role, but didn't love the role because you were a competitor. What are some of the things that you worked on from the end of last year to coming into fall camp this year, to maybe that you thought, or maybe you had an exit interview with Jen at the end of the year, on things that you guys both thought that you could work on to improve your game?
I feel like a lot of things are obviously like fundamental things that I worked on, but the major thing that I worked on was just changing my mindset. I came into last year with a mindset of playing like right out of the bat, like all that stuff. And this year I'm just coming in with a mindset of, yes, playing and trying to compete to get that spot, but also at the same time just like focusing more and paying attention to detail more, and just really locking in, and the intensity in what I do and everything, just taking that next step. And
That's interesting, because Michaela talked about having like an imposter syndrome early on in her season last year. Like, I don't know if I belong. I didn't start really well. Do I deserve this? Should I really be here? And I imagine all kinds of thoughts go through your mind as the season goes along, playing, not hitting, hitting well, whatever the case may be. It had to, I mean, not the imposter syndrome, but thoughts just are with you throughout the season. Especially, you played in a phenomenal travel ball team. You said every day you're playing, and you're used to being in a lineup every single day. That had to be a little bit of a mind issue after having so much success in high school and travel ball.
Yeah, I think trying to switch over was definitely a challenge. I feel like, as it can be for like a lot of freshmen.
Sure.
But I think now that I have really also becoming a sophomore, I have a lot more confidence in what I'm doing day to day, because I'm not worried so much about the routine and stuff. I already have it down. So just going and focusing just on softball, I feel like has really made me relax and have a lot more confidence in myself.
And I also think, watching every game, that towards the end of last year, your confidence level was sky high. When you were called upon to pinch hit, it was a meaningful at bat, and you rarely didn't come through with some type of move a runner over, get a hit, do something, get on base. Did you feel as the season went along, even though the playing time wasn't necessarily there, but your confidence was getting better?
It was definitely hard to be like just a pinch hitter, but also because I am here for the team, I am here to just help the team succeed and do what I can. I think I definitely understood that. And so as I moved through the season, my confidence um did grow and I felt more comfortable with that role.
There's a chance that this year's first game, there could be six, maybe seven new players in the starting lineup that did not start down south last year. The recruiting was amazing. The level and the depth now that Jen and Lauren have to choose with between lineups and pitchers and everything is, I think, better than it was a year ago with the overall team outlook. Did you guys feel that as a team as you saw fall ball kind of go along that, wow, this team's loaded?
Yeah, I did feel like that. I was talking to Sydney, one of my other teammates, about how who's gonna play the outfield, who's gonna play the infield. Like, I just feel like we have so many like good people that could play anywhere. And I feel like yes, we lost people, but also I feel like our bats are still really strong. We picked up some really good players, so I'm really excited to see what that lineup looks like.
I mean, during fall ball, during infield practice, there would be four of you at first base.
Yeah.
Obviously, only one can play at a time, but there is the DH as well, so there's always opportunities. But the different lineups that Jen could throw out there on a daily basis, she could play maybe almost three different lineups. It's not 27 people, but mix and match and not have any drop off from one lineup to the next lineup to the next lineup. That speaks volumes for your team.
Yeah. I think also just knowing your circumstances and knowing who you're playing against, like whether you need a all more like a lefty lineup or more righty lineup, see who your pitchers are that you're facing. I think it all really um, feeds back to that we have a really good depth and we can really play anybody.
What was your impression of the Valley last year in watching and playing when you did?
I think that it was definitely good competition. I kind of came in knowing that we were one of the stronger teams. And so I kind of had like that chip on my shoulder a little bit already, which maybe I shouldn't have because I had never really been a part of it. But it was a fun experience to get to see like all like the different levels, I feel like, because there is such a um kind of like big gap. I honestly feel like with like the levels of teams in the valley and just knowing that we can still compete at that high level and do good makes me really excited.
I talked to some of the girls about last year's start, 1-12. I imagine none of you were on teams that ever lost that many games in a row before, whether it was high school ball, travel ball, whatever the case may be. Then you come home and all of a sudden something flipped and you go on that run in the valley and never look back again. What was that start like? And the fact that not only were you losing games, the team wasn't playing very good fundamental softball. And then to come home and then just light it up.
Um, well, as somebody that wasn't really playing a whole lot, I think that it was definitely a little bit harder because it was like, what can I do to help the team so that we can find that success? But then when we switched and started winning all the games at home, just the atmosphere and the vibe of being at home was so like fun. Every game was like it felt like a battle, but it was just like so fun to get those wins and have that success and know that we're still in it and that we could still make a good run.
You faced probably all six of the new pitchers or four of the new pitchers and the holdovers, Key and Gibby, this fall and during those times. Give Saluki Nation an idea of how good this staff can be.
I think that the staff can be really good. The difference between last year and this year, I feel like, is the like the difference that we have with like pitchers. We have so many different pitchers that do so many different things. I don't really feel like we have one that is like way like an ace. So it makes it really interesting to see that I feel like all the pitchers are going to get in and probably make a really good impact and do really good.
You're defending Missouri Valley Conference regular season champs. You get to host the Valley tournament next year. Are the pieces in place for another run to that tournament title and potentially the NCAA regionals?
I definitely think we have a really good shot. I feel like it's obviously comes down to people's work ethic and just like their wanting to win, basically. And I think that we have all the pieces. We have outfielders, infielders, pitchers, catchers. We have the hitting. I think we have everything to do it, and we just got to get it done.
All right. Academics, extremely important to the program, to you, obviously. Give the folks an idea of what you are studying and what you want to do with it when you're done.
So I am getting my major in nutrition, and I want to become a registered dietitian and become a sports nutritionist for a NFL football team.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a nice goal.
Yes.
That's an amazing goal. Well, best of luck in
Thank
that
you.
field. Hope to see a lot in the lineup this year and that you can show Saluki Nation what you can do besides just competing, but getting in there and doing it. And thanks so much, Hayden.
Thank you.
That's Hayden Kurtz, our interview for today. We'll have another coming your way in just a little while. I'm Mike Trude. Until the next one comes your way, go Dogs.
This has been Saluki Royalty, the official podcast for Saluki Athletics. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review however you listen. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Saluki Sports Network.